Welcome to the Jesse and Matt Show, back by popular demand every Friday just for you. We're going to kick it off with your favorite. I'm never selling no. I'm never letting my pulse go. I'm holding out forever. Yeah, I'm taking on zero interest, yeah. No keys, oh. Amazing wealth creation in the liquid loan seas. I'm never selling no. I'm never letting my pulse go. I'm holding out forever. Yeah, I'm taking on. Earn in many ways. Such great financial plays. Community earn fees. And with no counterparty, I'm never selling no. I'm never letting my pulse go. I'm holding out forever. Yeah, I'm taking it on. Taking it on.
Woo, woo! It's the rock star, it's the galaxy brain, it's Jesse himself and Matt, the Jesse and Matt Show. Every single Friday here, dropping knowledge on crypto, on PulseChain, and of course, on liquid loans, engaging with the community and answering your questions backed by popular demand. Good to see you, Jesse. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Sounding great.
Doing great.
How's your week been?
My week's been really busy. We've obviously moved on to the next stage in this big protocol, and excited to hear from the people today. I hope you all have a lot of questions for us. That's what we're here for. Hey there, Hexacat. Thanks for all your help every day.
Red Squirrel in the house, LFG. So obviously, Testnet 2.5b has been out for about a week now. Have you been playing around with it?
I have. It is. It's fast. It's certainly faster than Ethereum. I have played around a little bit on PulseX, and even outside the protocol, I hope everyone remembers. Matt gave a good lesson on how to use Cowswap the other day over on the Ethereum chain, because while we wait for PulseChain to go live, we still have ridiculous gas fees over on Ethereum. Okay. And Cowswap helps you avoid those gas fees. So I did play around with that too. Used it successfully, did some swaps. It was awesome.
Yeah, Cowswap is interesting because the fee comes out of the token you're receiving. So, because it is, come on, let's not lie. It's so annoying. Every time you want to make a swap or you want to buy something, you go to your wallet and you've got a tiny bit of dust in there of Ethereum, right? And then you're like, oh, I need to get some more ETH, and then I need $30 or $100, and it's just so annoying. So obviously we know PulseChain is coming soon; it's around the corner. But yeah, I thought, why not? I found this and I thought, let's put this out because it's a lot easier, and just it's annoying having to get ETH every time you want to exchange something to something else. So until PulseChain, it's kind of like a band-aid that we can use for now, right?
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Have you been playing around with PulseX at all?
Yeah, I've done a few swaps on there. The prices were kind of crazy, right? Sometimes you get a really amazing deal and you get way more coins than you would have thought. And then other times you'll have like 99% slippage and you're like, oh, what's happening here?
Yeah.
But that's just because it's not live. How it's, the volume isn't there and stuff. So, but it's fun and it works.
Yeah. It's fast.
And I've also staked with some, with our validator node that works as well.
Nice. The liquid loans validator node. Yeah. I mean, obviously the testnet's still syncing, right? It'll be syncing for a while.
Yeah. Is it still stuck on 10%? It takes a long time to pull all that data over to the blockchain explorer.
I mean, it's you said a couple of weeks maybe, right? So it could take a while to sync, and then we will see what happens. We've got a question here from Keanu. Is that Keanu Reeves maybe? If Liquid Loans launched a new contract for PulseX, would a new loan token need to be created, or could the existing loan token be staked in the protocol?
New. It would be a new loan token. It would be a new stablecoin, actually.
Okay.
Unless there's an interesting concept. There's an interesting way to do this cross-chain. So it kind of depends on what chain you launch on. So let's just pretend that we wanted to launch Liquid Loans over on ETH chain. We could launch with the same ticker symbols, USDL, same loan token, and then there's actually a way to bridge and still leave coins. So like if you wanted to bridge, you basically leave behind USDL on the chain you're leaving, and the protocol would give you USDL on the chain that you're going to. So like if cross-chain, yeah, everything can be the same, and it just feels like one big giant ecosystem across multiple chains. But if you launch for a different token on the same chain, it has to be a brand new contract with a brand new, like it can't be loan token anymore. It's got to be something else. And it can't be USDL anymore. It's got to be something else.
Okay. Haunted says Cowswap is my favorite. Yeah. I mean, if it can save us gas fees, right? And they're half the price, the fee you do pay, then let's get it. Let's use it. Got Red Squirrel in the house. Mango Junkie says he needs to check it out. Kirsty says, thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. Daniel says, so glad I found about HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, and Liquid Loans 3 months ago. Now I'm on board with 20 of my people. Keep pushing and much support. Thank you. Thank you very much. Barely Crafty says, are you guys going to announce a sack phase balances, or are you too busy with more important stuff at the moment? Just curious. No pressure.
Yeah. So there's an accounting process that has to happen. Like we can't just do it overnight, right? So what you see currently happening with other sacrifices, there's people that feel, oh, my balances are off. They don't seem accurate. They're not right. We intend, when we release all the numbers, for everything to already be done, quadruple checked, maybe a test group in the community who looked at their numbers and said, yep, everything matches what we thought we were going to have. So we don't run into the same issues. So just have patience. We're working through all that now.
Yeah, if you're in crypto, it's funny, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people are attracted to crypto because they think it's overnight millionaire success. And a lot of the time it's patience, right? Like everything in life. You've got to be patient, waiting for protocols to obviously make sure everything is, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and all that good stuff. And patience, again, will prevail. Delayed gratification. Matty Crypto, good day, gents. Thank you very much, Matty. This guy asks, what's the Liquid Loans node name? Last few characters of the node we can ID and test staking too.
DB59, Delta Bravo 59er.
Can see your military days coming out there. Let's see. Is Liquid Loans will do PulseX as well, or only PulseChain? I think we've talked about this, but maybe you could answer that again, please, Jesse.
So it's not impossible. It's just sometimes it's just not the right thing to do. So it's one thing to use the native coin of the chain because it's just got liquidity everywhere. It's not easily manipulated. You can pull endless price feeds for it that are feeding back into the protocol, so you get an accurate price. But when you use like other stuff, maybe PulseX or HEX or Sheeb or some random coins, you don't always have thick liquidity. You might have like 1 or 2 liquidity pools, maybe sometimes a little more, 3 or 4. But you're introducing a whole bunch of risk when you do that, because those pools are either easily manipulated, or like it's easy for liquidity providers to just yank all the liquidity and go put it somewhere else. Or, we actually saw that the other day with some pairings in the community. So like you don't have that same issue when you use the native coin of the chain that's just paired to everything. So to protect the protocol, you really just want to use the native coin of the chain. There are some exceptions that can happen, but only after super careful review. And we're not to the point where we're even considering using PulseX.
Sure.
It's not even a thought in our mind right now.
Yeah, like you say, obviously down the road things might be possible, but this question's come up quite a lot of times before, and obviously like you said, the native token of the blockchain is the most stable asset on the blockchain, right? So even though that will have volatility, because obviously all assets go up and down, Liquidity, which is the protocol that Liquid Loans is forking, uses ETH. Therefore, we'll use Pulse for now. And obviously, if anything changes, then you guys will know as soon as possible. Arnold asks, we get all the loan token on day one in our wallets. How will we know the amount, I think he's saying, we can use to stake since I laddered my sacrifice? Love you guys. Thank you.
So they're not all liquid in your wallet. There's a couple methods to do this, and we're exploring the options, right? You could have a contract that just keeps them locked in your wallet, and then on the date of release, they unlock. So you can see them when you log into the DApp. You just can't you can't move them or anything. Well, then there's alternative methods that depend on like a number of factors. Is it good for the protocol? Will it hurt the price and stuff? And so you could do something like a wrapped hex stake, and you could have something like a wrapped loan token, basically. So it can still be moved, but it's just not allowed to be used inside the protocol for staking for the fees during that time. Or you could issue NFT tokens that are serial numbered, and there's a smart contract that reads the serial numbers, and it knows what date to basically unlock tokens to that wallet address. So there would be like a redemption process. There's a number of ways to do it. What I can say is, if you have something locked, you won't be able to use it for staking during the locking period. The rest is being figured out right now, how we would like to proceed. It basically boils down to, do we want a secondary market for these things? Or do we literally just want them locked and tied to that same wallet address that entire duration with nobody able to change, to move them at all?
Cool. Haunted says, do you think a loan protocol like Liquid Loans for HEX would help create a thicker liquidity pool over time to help the 90% dips?
Well, thicker liquidity pools actually, well, no, not exactly. So thicker liquidity literally means a liquidity provider took two different tokens and added them in as liquidity. Could it help the price? Well, if there's a whole bunch of people not selling, and there's the same number of or you have even more buying, possibly the price goes up. However, it's not that simple. If you had people locking up HEX, never selling it, minting some sort of stable coin against it, your initial reaction is like, oh, it makes the price go up and up only. If you have the majority of the community doing it, maybe. But you also are just pumping the price for the people who are deciding to sell. Right? So there's always going to be sellers. You have a whole bunch of people not selling and they're pumping the price. You could just be feeding the pockets of those that do sell. Right? Price runs up 100x because of this. And now you have a handful of people that do sell, and they're all 100x up, because they sold. So it's really hard to figure some of that out. Yes, it's good for price action, but good price action just leads to more sellers.
Hmm.
You have to convince the majority of the community to use it.
Actually, yeah, let's touch on that, because obviously a lot of people sacrificed for liquid loans. A lot of people have showed interest and they want to use the protocol, but there are people that obviously didn't want to sacrifice and maybe not interested right now. Maybe we could touch on how will liquid loans help anyone who's holding Pulse, no matter if they use liquid loans or not.
Well, they will. The people who didn't participate in sacrifice, that doesn't mean they're not going to use the protocol. There's
Sure.
tons of people who have said, "Oh, I just want to see it work," or, you know, "I want to wait," or whatever, right? When it comes down to when it is time for them to sell, like I said, there's always going to be sellers. I think usually those are the people who don't know, because when you're presented an option to get your value out with no taxes versus selling, you know, having a capital gains tax, you're always going to go for the option of no taxes. Not always, right? Because you might not be able to get as much out, because if you're trying to keep your coins and you're over collateralizing, for example, if you had 100 grand and you said, well, I can go sell my 100 grand. Oh, but I'm going to have capital gains, so I'm going to get to keep 60 grand of it. Okay. That would be one option. But the option for the never seller would be, well, I have 100 grand as well, and I want to get 60 grand out. Let me take, but maybe that's too risky, so let me take 40 grand out. Okay, see what you just did there? You actually got a little bit less out, but you have the benefit of being able to keep your coins. You know, they were never sold. They're just in your vault, right? So you can capture all the future appreciating value of it. So like it is always going to be a very personal decision, but I think a lot of that decision making for each individual is going to come down to what's best for me long term from a tax standpoint, and from how many coins will I manage to be able to keep.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that if you've got, if you're using your brain correctly, right, and you look at the black and white comparisons of selling your coins, having a taxable event, and losing obviously any future price appreciation, why wouldn't you use liquid loans? But of course, there's always going to be a subsect, and there are some people who are just completely, maybe it's the semantics of word loan and debt. They just don't want anything to do with it, but they're still holding Pulse. What I want to obviously talk to you about is how, even if they're not going to use it, if you're holding Pulse, liquid loans is going to help your bags, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's still supply and demand. Like if you have, 25% of the population of people who hold Pulse locking their Pulse up and never selling it, like they're taking it off the market. They're doing the same thing that people, say about Satoshi. Oh, look at all those coins off the market, or the OA or whatever. Look at all those coins off the market. Now you have an entire community taking all their coins off the market. So the same narrative applies. Like that's good long term. It creates scarcity, makes coins harder to get your hands on. So it's good for price action.
Sure. Oscar says, when are we going to have our first liquid loans party? 10x, 20x, 100x, 1000x, or 10,000x? We will see. Let's get PulseChain launched first, right? But
Yeah,
I think
our
we
first
do.
party happened the other day, right?
Oh, on the stream. Yeah, exactly. Our 12-hour party stream. That was a marathon, man. It was good though. It was fun. But yeah,
It was.
I slept for about 11 hours after that, by the way.
We're talking about doing that, not as long, not 12 hours or anything, but maybe like 2 hours or something, 2 or 3 hours, like once every couple months, just getting everybody together, inviting the community in, having a good time, shooting the breeze, as they say.
Yeah, it's fun, man. Like all the different characters jumped on the stream, people from all different backgrounds, obviously every different time zone. I mean, we had people on the West Coast of America, the East Coast, Europe, Australia. It was a real party, man. And there was music playing and it was fun. Haunted says more hex locked equals price appreciation. Thicker liquidity pools to hold the dumps stronger. People loaning the dip. I think over time will be a good thing. Just needs time. Maybe.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt a coin to have it locked up. It creates the remaining coins more scarce. Like there's just less of them moving around in the markets.
Red Squirrel says party at my house, and Oscar says party at my garage. Yeah, party at my garage is better. Bob can DJ. So what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking about like PulseChain? Like, I mean, obviously everyone's got their opinions or speculation, but are you thinking in the next month or two or?
Well, we heard Richard say weeks away, but he never said if that he meant like 20 weeks or like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or what. Like so we don't really have a clear answer, right? Everything's always like 2 weeks. Hasn't it been 2 weeks away since the beginning?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks after sacrifice, right back last summer. So, but I guess, you know, we've seen something tangible now, right? We've seen the testnet up and running, 2.5B X4Z17, whatever it is. And then we've seen PulseX and their staking and liquidity providing. And again, all those numbers are all over the place. They don't mean anything because they just, you know, it's testing. But it does feel closer than ever. So, you know, what's next, right? The sacrifice phase is over for liquid loans. The sacrifice phase is over for other protocols. You know, what's going on for us behind the scenes? Same as usual, hard work, right? And I'm sure the other protocols are doing the same thing, getting everything, you know, in a tip-top shape and waiting eagerly for PulseChain. Alan Thick is in the house. Matt, should I start the week with heavy compound lifts or hypertrophy and how many scoops? I would say start with hypertrophy, because if you start with heavy compound lifts, you're going to tax your central nervous system, and then you may hinder your lifting later on in the week. So some hypertrophy work, a bit of bodybuilding, and a scoop after for muscle recovery of protein will help you out. Alan Thick in the house. Mango Junkie, 8 more weeks. Wow. 8 more weeks would be... well, to be honest, it's been 8 weeks as well. At the Hex party in London, Richard was like 4 more weeks, maybe 8 weeks at the most. And that was back in November. So very, very possible.
Do you think that Mango Junkie really likes to eat mangoes all the time or what?
I don't know. Mango Junkie, drop it in the comments. Are you like literally multiple mangoes a day, or is it just an alias? You can never wait too long for something amazing. True. Patience is something, good things come to those that wait, right? Matt, when is your Jexxa video? What video is that? I'm not sure, Haunted, let me know. Oscar says, I can be your personal trainer and you can pay me with T and loan tokens. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. I need to put a bit of muscle on. So, yeah, let me know. Yes, he does. And bananas. Oh, we got Crypto Panda in the house. What's good, Crypto Panda? Oh, he does. He is a mango. He's a mango junkie, literally. He's on it every day. What about you, Jesse? You like a good mango?
I do like mangoes.
Mangoes are delicious. I lived in Southeast Asia for a long time, and they're everywhere, right? It's like buying an apple. So, yeah, it can be quite. I could easily become a mango junkie. Patience like a stalker, like a staker. Tuga69 says, regards from Portugal. When liquid loans testnet?
Well, I mean, for public use, we're really, really close, actually. We're closer than I thought. When I got an update the other day from Jexxa.
Okay.
Still may be a little weird, right? Because the prices are all wonky still.
We're getting closer.
Now, if mainnet like comes out like tomorrow or something, we still have some work to do, right? We've always said, you know, minimum 30 days before we launch. So don't even let that make you assume that we're not going to still launch something on testnet for people to play around with. That is our goal. We're really close to it. We'll let you know as soon as we're able to. and we'll tell you how to get to it.
Yes, yes. Talking about Jexxa, he's got some videos on his channel which show some demos as well of the front end and stuff like that. So if you want to see how that works, head over to Jexxa's channel. I think it's Hex Safe. He's got some great videos, some great content on how the whole protocol works, about positive price feedback loops. You can see the front end. And the Liquid Loans front end, you know, it's going to be like most decentralized platforms, right? Front end like Uniswap or Matcha or Cowswap, if you use those.
Yeah, it's actually going to be super cool, right? Because you're going to find there's different tabs on there. So you can do your staking, and then you just click this button if you want to do your stability providing. You click this other button if you want to manage your loans and your collateral. And then we can add in another button if you want to go stake with our delegator, or maybe another button eventually if you just want to provide liquidity. So like the goal is everything on a very clean interface right there, where that's all you have to go to get to everything that you want.
And mobile friendly, right?
And mobile friendly for those who choose to disregard the security of hardware wallets. Yep.
Yeah, I would advise not to do that. Get your Trezor and Ledger. I mean, I'm not sponsored by any, but I like Trezor. I think they're simple. And what do you use, Jesse?
So I use a Ledger for serious money, like big money. But
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I use a mobile for other things.
Okay, for degenning.
Not just degenning, but
like
there's some protocols that I claim from daily.
Sure.
You know, so like liquidity protocol. Okay. I am running some nodes on certain things, and like these are things that either daily or every couple days, like there's claim features or compounding features. And I'm comfortable using a mobile MetaMask on a secure device inside of a secure folder, like, and we can do a stream someday on how to do that.
Yeah, I think that'd be helpful.
I'm comfortable using a mobile device for certain things, but once the money starts to get serious in these protocols, I'll always send it out to an address that I can access from a ledger.
Sure. Obviously, if you're a galaxy brain like you, then you will know that you're not going to be connecting to weird Wi-Fi's and just leaving your MetaMask open, right? Mango Junkie says straight up mango. Here's another one though. If you want to get diabetes really quickly, go to Southeast Asia and have mango and sticky rice. But it's tasty, but it's not that healthy for you. Can we play around with liquid loans on the testnet? That would be nice. We just talked about this. Not yet, but it's coming. Everything's being done behind the scenes, and as soon as you can, then we will announce it on our Telegram group and on our Twitter, of course. Marge says, I locked half of my sacrifice for 24 months and I accidentally locked my other half for 23 months. So I'm wondering if there will be any way to unlock it before I get my Pulse passively, or do I have to wait?
So that's an interesting one. Usually we've heard the opposite, like, oops, I forgot to lock. Like if you seriously put a .23 in the quantity and there's nothing after that, and it was a genuine mistake. Dave, I am Scottish Dave, India Mike, and then Scottish Dave in the Telegram has compiled a list of people who have made some sort of mistake or believe that they've made some sort of mistake. And reach out to him. I am Scottish Dave. And understand that there's no expectations, but we're really nice people.
Very, very nice. Obviously, Dave is a very nice, handsome fella with a great temperament who may or may not help you out. But remember, no expectations. Oscar says, on a serious note, Matt and Jesse, let's be very serious now, Jesse, okay? No more messing around. What are your thoughts on the Testnet PulseX platform?
I seriously, and I can't stop laughing, I seriously think PulseX is just going to do well. I mean, it's got a cool buy and burn. You can earn other tokens. you know, as rewards while you're in there, which is kind of cool because then it makes it like the idea is reward you in other things so you don't dump the thing that you like. So if you're rewarded in random tokens, you're likely to probably dump those random tokens for the things you like, whether that's HEX or PulseX or Pulse or loan token, which only pumps the price a lot, right? So that it's kind of cool how that's done. I think it's going to be great, but there may be some extreme volatility at the beginning, and I do wish that the protocol was a little more user friendly to get to the other protocols. For example, the bridge. You've got the bridge. You've got the swapping platform, PulseX. You've got HEX. You've got staking. You've got all these things, right? And each of these is a different URL you have to visit. If you look at some other protocols like AnySwap or like Spooky Swap, which is really cool, by the way, Spooky Swap.
Is that on Phantom?
What you'll find is one DApp, and you can swap with this tab. You click that tab, and there's all the stuff you could do to swap. And you can look at charts and graphs inside of there while you swap. Or if you say, well, I need a bridge over to Ethereum chain, you just click this other tab, and it brings you to a nice little interface, all inside of the same website. So instead of having to connect your MetaMask to multiple different places, you really only have to connect to one place, which is a little bit safer. And everything you possibly need is right there on one interface. That is my only complaint. Okay, as far as usability and like it works, I think all this stuff Richard's built is cool. It would be nice to have one interface where you can get to all of them, though. That would be my serious thoughts.
I think it's, I mean, it's very similar to other dexes, but you know, it's very similar to PancakeSwap, which I've used quite a bit in the past, and the pools and the farms are very similar, and you know, it's quite user friendly. So, yeah, hopefully, some of the devs are watching this, and maybe they'll take some of your notes on board, Jesse. Mango Junkie says, "Oh my God, Matt, you're one of those brainwashed sugar loonies. It's a myth, man. You can eat all the fruit you want, dude. I'm vegan. I've been eating fruit and veggies and starch every day for the last 6 years. So I eat tons of fruit. It's not that, but sticky rice and mango spikes your blood sugar levels super high, and it's not the best for you, even if you're not a diabetic." Who's ready for another 12-hour stream? You know what? I think we're just going to start it now. We're already half an hour in, right? So we've got 11 and a half hours left. I seriously slept for 11 hours that night afterwards. I slept 3 hours because we started at midnight UK time. I went to bed at like 3, woke up at 6. I don't know why I'm trying to get some sympathy here because Jesse was literally up the whole time, right?
I stepped aside for a minute to go take care of something, but I may have stepped aside like 2 or 3 times for like 5 minutes. I think Hexacat was there the whole time.
Hexacat was there.
Ty and Tripledad were there for the majority of it.
Ty was the party, man.
I think Hodprol was there for like all of it as well.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
You like went to sleep.
I went to sleep for like 3 hours, which would probably be easy just to stay up, but dude, I was so tired. And then I woke up at 6 and I was like, okay, let me check what's going on. And then I think Matty All In and someone else was on the stream, and I jumped on, and then I was there for the rest of it. But yeah, it was fun, but obviously I think I got the short straw because in Australia it started at like 11 a.m. and ended at like 11 p.m. for them. That'd be fine, just do it all day. But when you do it from midnight UK time to like midday the next day, a little bit brutal. I'm just being a bit of a wuss. Let's have a look. Jesse, besides USDL, what is your preferred stablecoin?
I actually have 2.
Let's go.
So LUSD from the Liquidity protocol.
Yeah.
Right. Naturally, it's like the same thing. But I actually like True USD, and it's a bit different. And it is fiat backed. And I talk out against fiat backed stablecoins quite a bit, but this one's a little bit different. True USD is as decentralized as you could hope to get with a fiat-backed stablecoin. And the way it works, you set up like a bank account with True, and then all you have to do is wire in from your other banks to your bank account that you have with True. When the money lands in your bank account over with True, they take those funds away, and then the protocol will mint and then send to your MetaMask address the same quantity of stable coins. And it's all like automatic in the background. So all you have to do is wire in like $1,000 or $1 million, whatever you want. Okay. And you will see 1 million TUSD get minted and then sent to your MetaMask address, usually within 12 hours. And going the other direction, it's just the opposite. You send your TUSD to your address that you have on the TUSD platform. Those will burn, they'll disappear, go away forever. And then that banking institution will wire to your bank the same quantity of stablecoins that you just burned. So it's like a bridge, but for fiat to stables. And but I mean, there's still, we don't know how much is fractionally reserved. There's not good visibility on that. The bank won't release the records, how much fiat they hold that's backing all that. So it does have some of the same risks as like Circle and Tether, but not as much in my opinion, because it's all done by the user. You send in, they mint. You send back, they burn and release back to your bank account fiat. It's kind of cool. And it's a very fast way to get in with a lot of money into crypto if that's your goal, without having to pay the fees that you would normally have to pay on like Coinbase and other platforms.
If you haven't cottoned on, Jesse likes decentralization. Exchange predictions. We don't make predictions on here if you're talking about price predictions, but you know, crypto has.
I do have a crystal ball around here somewhere. But we are working on it though. Listen, we're going to be on exchanges. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So just everything in due time. Obviously, let's look at the roadmap ahead of us. We need PulseChain to come out. Then we need Liquid Loans to launch. Well, hang on. No, first off, we need PulseChain to come out. Then we need a bridge. Then we need fiat on and off ramps. And probably before that, we'll have the Liquid Loans coming out. So one thing at a time. But there are people working on behind the scenes. Again, no expectations. But yeah, that is happening. When official Liquid Loan merch?
There is some already.
Right, we've seen
there's a link floating around somewhere.
Haunted rocking some merch. Red Panda says it was cool to see you guys chat and tell stories. Yeah, in 12 hours you cover a lot of topics, so there was lots of talking. Red Squirrel said he woke up near the end to hear Kool-Aid berating me. Hexy Cat says, "Vegan Matt, come on, join the steak club, dude. I used to love eating steaks, man. I didn't quit meat because it doesn't taste good. I quit it because it's not that healthy for you." Vegan stamina let you down. I'll outrun any of you guys in a long distance or a short distance. I used to run 11-second 100 meters, so I'll outrun anyone on this stream. Let's see, Jesse. So you think LUSD is better than UST on Luna?
Well, do you expect me to say anything other than, of course? I mean, we are running the LUSD platform for a reason. So Terra on Luna. So check it out. You know that's its own blockchain, right? Like it's not like Ethereum where there's like millions of things residing on it, or at least tens of thousands of protocols. So cool. They made a stable coin that inflates and deflates wildly to try and stay stable, by the way. But like the whole blockchain revolves around the stable coin. What can you do over there? Can you swap that for an ERC20? No, you can't, because it's not an ERC20. Right. So it's like, cool, you made a stable coin that resides all by itself over on this blockchain over here. Like, that's pointless. You want to have something on the chain where all the activity is happening.
Hex says Matt has that tornado elbow though, so meat mustn't be working for him. You know what's funny? Talking about stamina, when you're on a vegetarian or vegan diet, you're mainly eating carbohydrates. And where does glucose and energy come from? Carbohydrates. So in fact, you've got endless energy. Hex Maniac is shouting at us. Why is my question being ignored, dude? I haven't seen your question. Where is it? Did I miss it? Like, if you
all in all caps. Here,
all
just
caps.
ask your question right now.
Why is my question? And he says it again later on. I can see down the stream. Listen, I haven't seen your question. If you ask a legit question, we will answer it. We'll answer anything. Here's a legit question. Trumpet today, question mark.
From Ebonics Lover, maybe not. Or maybe. We'll see.
Again, why is my question being ignored? Post your question, Hex Maniac, and we will answer it. Logan asks, what ethnicity are you two? Just curious. Guess. If you can guess what ethnicity both of us are, you get a prize.
I am a person of the people.
Yeah, I'm a human being from planet Earth. So, crazy question. Would it be feasible to sell USDL on PulseChain prior to Liquid Loans launch?
How are you going to get it?
Yeah, how are you going to get it, dude? It's got to be, USDL is only going to exist when the protocol goes live.
Yeah, the only way that, so every USDL is minted because the contract exists that allows people to put in Pulse, lock it up as collateral, and then mint some. So, no, it's not feasible until the protocol exists because there won't be any USDL.
That's like saying, can I sell Pulse before Pulse goes live? It's like, no, because Pulse tokens, Pulse coins not going to exist before PulseChain goes live. Christy asks, hey Matt and Jesse, would you know what the maximum supply of the loan token is? I guess.
Maybe I do. I can't share that till listen, all that accounting's got to get done that I talked about earlier.
Yeah, obviously we need to make sure everything's done properly. Again, you don't want to, like anything in crypto or life, you don't want to rush things and say something and it might be off. So we make sure everything's checked and double checked before we release anything. Is Jesse an alien? Jesse's a machine. He might be an alien because he doesn't sleep. The guy doesn't sleep. Sometimes I'm waking up and I'm working London, UK time, and I get messages from Jesse and I'm like, this guy is like 5 hours, 6 hours behind me. He's out in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit. Puerto Rico, British, and Mexican American. I get that a lot, I get like I'm Latin American or Mexican a lot. But Matt looks Japanese. Arigato gozaimasu. Hey. How is the testing going for the Liquid Loans protocol? Going pretty well. Things are going pretty well. Jesse, any update on
that? I mean, it's going good. We just put everything over on Testnet. It was going good on Testnet version 2 before the 2.5. Listen, we really do want to release it to the public, but the prices are there's no prices for anything. It's just ratios. There is prices on Testnet, but it doesn't make any sense. They don't make any sense because it's not real. So, as soon as it makes sense where we could release this and it's not like people are like, oh, let me mint myself some, 100 grand off of my $1 million, but then 2 seconds later, their $1 million is only worth $10. Like, it would be a horrible user experience, to release it prematurely. So we're working towards it. We're really close.
Okay, this guy's getting blocked because this is getting...
I think he's just...
he's trolling us.
Hold on. Hex Maniac says...
You're going to get a timeout.
Hex Maniac, are you being serious? Do you have a question, dude?
No, he's getting put in a timeout, and if he does it again, then he's getting blocked. Just so you know, UST is bridged to other chains and about to flip USDC, or at least gain and closing ground. Okay, good to know.
Okay, well, that's bridged. It's not natively launched. There is a difference.
Kirsty, you're close. You're very close, but you're just 25% off, but you're very close. Get your trumpet. I'm not a trumpeter. I think Jesse is the musical one out of the two of us.
Let me say something else about UST. So Richard has created his own blockchain that by all accounts and purposes should be sustainable all by itself. Everything residing on the chain. We have everything that we need to be successful on Richard's PulseChain without having to rely on external blockchains and the success of them for the things that we run on PulseChain. Now, there's some exceptions to that. You got to have a fiat off and on ramp, and you got to have some sort of bridge so people can get in and out. But what you don't want to do is bridge in UST to PulseChain and say, okay, we're going to run this stable coin that's completely reliant on somebody else's blockchain that might or might not fail. That's ridiculous. The best way is to have something natively launched on the chain that's run by the community on that chain, so that if another blockchain fails or has its own issues, which we see all the time, it doesn't matter, right? You still live on and are successful. Don't attach yourself to other things outside of the Pulse chain and say, well, this is going to work over here for a period of time until that other thing screws up and fails. Okay. So just keep that in mind.
Spike says, what's likely ETA for Liquid Loans launch after PulseChain main? We're looking at around 4 weeks, maybe 4 to 8 weeks, depending on what's going on. But, you know, hopefully around 4 weeks after launch, then Liquid Loans will go live. And again, we'll keep you guys updated. Love you guys. Thanks for your work and success, and hope it's successful on PulseChain. Thank you very much. When Liquid Loans testnet, we're already running it on the testnet, private testnet at the moment. So making sure everything's ready. And of course, when we are ready to release it, you guys will know. Congratulations on the sack phase. Looking forward to using Liquid Loans. So are we. Jesse Jensen says you won't outlive meat eaters. Yeah, when I pass away, I'm sure there's still going to be other humans on planet Earth that eat meat. That's fine, but I'll probably outlive you because I'm sure I'm a lot healthier than you are, whoever you are. Using Liquid Loans to invest in an apartment complex seems like the best possible investment to keep money coming in. I mean, listen, everyone's in different places in their life, right? So you might have a family, you might be young, you might be old, you might want to buy real estate, you might want to rent. The good thing about Liquid Loans is it doesn't discriminate. True DeFi doesn't discriminate. As long as you have Pulse in your wallet, you have enough collateral to mint yourself a loan, you can, you know, take a loan out and invest in real estate. You can invest under crypto, stocks, gold, up to you. So Jesse Jensen is annoying and he's gone. So cannot wait. Irish Chinese. Yeah, close. Cannot wait, but must to get the right product market so we can all live in real life, not frustrated. English, please. English,
are we living in fake life now or what?
Listen, we're in the metaverse. Me and Jesse are in the metaverse, and you're listening to music.
Now, I do agree with what he's saying. Listen, we need to get the right product to market.
Yes. True. Random question.
I don't necessarily agree with so we can stop living a fake life, but the first part of that was correct.
Hex Gangbanger says, random question, but did the sack start of February 9th? Jesus, guys, when you type, please make sure your grammar is kind of semi-correct because it makes it hard to read it out. Random question, but did the sack start of February 19th or February 20th UTC? Anybody remember? I think it was the 19th, but again, everything becomes a blur when the whole team is working flat out for a month, right? So Rick says, hello. Cool. Well, it looks like we've got to the end. So before we wrap up, if anyone has any more questions, do drop them in the chat. Minty Guy asks, let's work together with wrapped NFTs. Let's talk. Would Liquid Loans be applying for any listings? That is on the cards. Again, we can't promise when, but that is being worked on behind the scenes. So of course we want to have a fiat on and off ramp to make things easier. But first things first, let's launch PulseChain.
Yeah.
And
the answer is always yes. In fact, we've had some talks with a few of them already. The answer will never be no. We hate adoption. We don't want anyone to see what liquid loans is all about in USDL. So we hate exchanges. We don't want to be in any of them. You will never hear that from me or anybody else. We are working with some exchanges.
Yes, Sodman, you're right. Everything has to be correct first. Otherwise, it will be frustrating. 100% agree. Crypto Jack says, will copied USDC on PulseChain be okay? Heard it could get taken down. We'll find out.
Well, here's what happens. Taken down, maybe not. Like, it can be, but it just doesn't make sense for them to do that. Instead, they just don't redeem it, right? So Circle, if you tried to send a PRC20 USDC to Coinbase, first off, there's no address to send it to. So if you did send it, he would just go to the address, like their hot wallet addresses, and you'd never see it again. And they will never redeem it for you because, first off, they're fractionally reserved, but there's supposed to be a number of USDC that are backed by stablecoins. But if you just start sending some random PRC20 USDC to Coinbase, again, you'll never see them, and they will never give you stablecoins for them. They're not redeemable. None of these PRC20s are redeemable, right? So that then begs the question: what happens to the price of them? Since there's no redeemability, which is actually where the arbitrage comes from that keeps them at $1. Well, that means there's probably going to be more sellers than buyers, right? So the price just starts to move. The price goes to 98 cents, 75 cents, 50 cents, keeps on going down until it's like almost zero. And then you just have a bunch of random USDC over there that aren't worth anything.
Hex Gangbanger says one typo. Sorry, dude. Maybe you put one typo, but a lot of people put loads of typos and I'm end up reading out. So maybe I took out my frustration on you. Apologies. Any plan for liquid loans to do the same kind of operation on other blockchains like Binance Smart Chain or Phantom? At the moment, obviously, first things first, we're launching on PulseChain. That's numero uno to us at the moment. But in the future, possibility, right?
Yeah.
Jesse?
Our founder has mentioned this, I think, on stream. We will not tie ourselves down to one chain.
Make of that what you will. I don't think you need to be the Riddler to understand that one. Matt, can you karate kick the famous? I'm not even sure what that means.
Hey, the famous is coming. The famous is coming around. He's coming around.
Who's the famous? Update me on one. Oh, is this the fudder?
Well, at one point he wasn't very nice about liquid loans. At one point he was actually perhaps downright evil about some things he said about it, right? Some references he made to a movie. But as of lately, he's coming around. He hasn't quite had the clickening yet, but he sees the potential of liquid loans. He's coming around. They all do. Everybody comes around eventually.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a couple of brain cells to rub together, then I think, and you listen to Jesse and you listen to the content, then I think you should come around at some point. The clicking will happen. Maybe it's slower for some others, faster for some, but why would you sell your best appreciating asset? Cool. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Jesse's going to give us a little outro. Anything else, Jesse, you want to say before we head out?
There we go. Thanks for joining us today to the Jesse and Matt show, which we'll be hosting every Friday. Thank you. Matt, back to you.
Thank you. Okay, so there you go, guys. If you like our content, our videos, all the stuff that we drop on this YouTube channel, do hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop new videos. You can also tap the like button, share the video with someone who you think it may benefit. And also, if you're watching the playback, drop a comment below for the algo. It does help us out. Don't forget, we have a Telegram channel, t.me/liquid loans. Any questions, any problems, any issues, jump in there. We have our superstar mods, our superstar admins in there 24/7 answering your questions. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great weekend wherever you are in the world, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.